Okay, in today's episode, we're going to take an animation and learn how to add a lip sync over it using the iPhone Live Link app. Okay, first off, let's go to the animation blueprint that we set up our Live Link pose in the first place. And let's go to the anim graph and let's drag out the animation we want to add the lip sync to and connect that to the Live Link pose. Okay, compile and save. And let's go to the Epic Games Marketplace, and let's go to the permanently free collection, and let's go ahead and filter our search results by environment, and let's go ahead and find an environment, and these are all free. I suggest you guys to look through them and play with them. Some of these have particles that you would want to use, blueprints that you might want to use, materials, you name it. All right, so let's choose this restaurant. That seems pretty easy. Let's go ahead and I'm in 5.4, so I'm going to go ahead and make this in 5.4. I'll name it something like Restaurant AV and change this to 5.4 and create. And then I want to migrate this to our game animation sample project. And so this is all using a different lighting system than our game animation sample. It's using screen, I forget what it's called, but it's not Lumen. Okay, so we'll need to change the lighting once we get it over to our project that we're working in. All right, let's just go ahead and migrate everything and choose the content folder and select the folder. All right, and let's go ahead and open it up in our game animation sample or whatever project that you're working in. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. If you go into your render settings, screen space is what it was working on in the other project. All right, so we're working with Lumen here. Screen space is, they use baked lighting. So Lumen will take more processing power of your computer at runtime, and the baked lighting will, take up more space like in the package, like when you're downloading it. Okay, so in Lumen, all the lights need to be movable. So I selected directional light, I changed that to movable. Let's go into the blueprint, and that way we'll change the light component to movable here. That way it affects all the blueprints that's using this light. So go ahead and change that to movable. Okay. And let's go find the point lights in this scene that need to be changed. Okay. Change these to movable. Here you go. And let's search for the post-process volume. And you're going to want to make sure this is unbound. So you want to search for unbound first before doing this, and then go to exposure compensation. And you can increase the lighting by changing this value. And it will change the lighting overall for your whole scene. Okay. But right now what we're going to do, we're going to increase the intensity of these point lights that are in our scene. Like what's lighting this restaurant area here. Let's go. It looks like this point light. Looks like it's just this one. We'll go ahead and put this up to 2. And we'll go ahead and... I don't see any other lights here that are offering any kind of substantial light. So let's go ahead and copy this light right here. Let's hold Alt and drag the Y value over and make a duplicate. And we'll place this somewhere over here just to give us some decent lighting. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to get a little bit extra lighting. This is not a lighting tutorial, really. So, and then it's telling us to rebuild those reflection captures. So we'll go ahead and do that. One thing with Lumen is you don't have to bake your lighting. So you're not going to have to build your lighting when everything's movable. This is all at runtime. And this is going about, if we check our stat FPS, this is at 90 frames per second on my computer. whereas in the Arch Viz scene it was at 120 frames per second. So that is the cost of performance of doing the Lumen at runtime, but it does, you know, make the file size small. Okay, so let's go ahead and place our actor in the scene. And I'm using a blueprint that has a mesh that is using the animation blueprint, just like we did in the previous episode. Okay, it's just a different actor or different mesh, you know. But it's a blueprint that has the mesh that is using the animation blueprint. So that's how we want to have this set up. All right, so now let's create a sequence. So go to the little action slate and let's add a sequence. And let's go ahead and name it, you know, whatever you like. Bistro sequence. And choose a folder. I'm putting it in the sequences folder in the bistro for now. Alright, so if you click on this camera here, this will create a new camera that only exists in this sequence. So it will not exist when you're in the level otherwise. It'll only be for this sequence. So let's go ahead and place this camera. When it's blue like that, when you toggle that camera and you select it and it's blue, you can move, you'll pilot the camera and then you can move it around. So rather than move the transform on the camera, I'm going to increase focal length rather than change the location of the camera. Okay, if you hit F11, this will fill the screen with your pilot camera. That way you can move it around and place it the way you like. And then hit up F11 again and we'll zoom you back out. And let's go ahead and change the manual focus. We'll decrease it to about 170 or so and get a nice focus on our character. All right, and let's go ahead and add this blueprint to our sequence. So now he's there, and we'll add the host, which is the body of this character, and then we want to add an animation to that. Okay, and we'll add the sitting animation. Okay, we'll go ahead and save that. All right. Okay. Let's test it out. Well, first off, this hair. This hair is able to expand because I have dragged off a set morph target and I've added the morph target that expands the hair for this mesh. Okay, I'll expand. So you see this expands the hair. Okay, so you drag out the hair, set morph target, and copy this name, put it in the morph target name, and then put the value that you want. Okay, and you'll notice that the hair is not parented directly to the host. There's a scene in between the hair and the host. For whatever reason, this allows you to add morph targets to skeletal meshes that are using the leader pose function. Okay, so if you're using leader bone component, which is making the hair follow the skeleton, which we are, you set it up that way and the morph target should work. Okay? Alright. I have no idea why you have to do that and why you can't parent it directly to the host. Alright, so let's go ahead and open up our animation blueprint, go into the anim graph, and make sure that we're connected to our iPhone. Okay? And if we are, then we want to go open up our take recorder. Okay, and inside the take recorder, we want to add our actor. And we want to delete this player start content, and we want to change the game mode override to functional game test in the world settings. That way when you hit play, you'll be directly in front of your actor. Okay, so you get it placed there. You're in the functional game test mode. You've deleted the player start, so when you hit play, you'll be right in front of your guy. Okay, that way when you hit record on your take recorder, you'll be placed in a, you'll be framed up so you can see exactly what's going on. Okay? So he's not moving, and that's because I did not change this to looping. So you want to make sure this, if it's an animation that you want looping, you want to make sure that's looping. Okay, that way when you're recording over it, it'll be natural. You want to make sure you change the frames per second in the take recorder to the frames per second that you're using in the Live Link app on your iPhone. Add a microphone if you're using it on the source, plus on the source, and then add the microphone. Hit play, hit the record button, and record. Okay, there are things that you can do that increase the ability of the Live Link to see your face, increase the lighting in your room, increase the enunciation. Click on this folder above the take number, and that will take you to the animation that was just recorded from that take. You can click on that folder, you can see the animation, you can see the audio. Everything is right there. The Live Link is now on top of that sitting animation. And now let's go back into our sequence. And let's go ahead and change this animation, delete the animation we had in there. Let's go ahead and put in the animation that we just recorded. Take 1. Okay? And let's go ahead and add an audio track. I'm not sure exactly what this is telling me, but I'm going to go ahead and say yes. Something to do with the timing. I'm going to go ahead and add the audio of the take we just recorded. And it should sync up pretty well since we recorded it at the exact same time. Let's make sure we change this to 60 frames per second in this sequencer. Okay, and we want to see it how many frames is this animation? It's 1,987 frames. So we want to change the frame mount to that, and then hit that red bracket, and that will end the sequence at that frame point. Okay, and then we want to find the animation, and we can make some changes in here if we wanted to. Like if we thought the neck is too high, we can go ahead and change that. We can go to the front of the animation, rotate that down 15 degrees or so, and then we can hit S to set a key, or we can go to here and set a key this way. And that will set the neck position for the whole animation. And then let's search for the sequence in the overview, and let's go to the level blueprint for the level, and let's drag off of that and hit play. That way when we start the level, it will start the animation automatically. Okay, and this is inside the Bistro level blueprint right here. Okay, and let's go back to Bistro and open up that, and make sure we drag this camera cut to be the length of the sequence. And let's go ahead and check out the sequence. Oh, we can increase our audio recording this way. If maybe your audio recording is a little low, we can open up the sound here, double click on that, and then under volume we can increase the volume, or we could pitch it up to speed it up, or that would change the lip sync though. Okay, to start the sequence, hit play to start the level. Sorry. Thanks for meeting me here today. We've emailed you a lot. I've talked to you personally. Your manager has spoken with you. We have a very strict dress code here, and quite frankly, you just won't change. You're starting to freak out the customers. You're starting to freak out our coworkers. And quite frankly, you're starting to freak me out a little bit. So we're going to have to let you go today. I'm sorry. Alright, thanks for watching. In the next video, I will show you how to modify the Live Link curve values at runtime. That way you could add some sort of strength modifier to add a little bit extra enunciation that you're not able to add in the recording. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time.